Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Stellaris and the Biogenesis expansion. So many of you may be aware that an upcoming expansion will be releasing, I think on Monday, might be Tuesday, but I believe it's Monday, and then the Victoria 3 DLC is going to release on Tuesday. For some reason Paradox always likes to release their DLC in the same week. So unfortunately this will be the final episode in this series, since we do have that DLC releasing, and I highly doubt these saves would be compatible. And this series has been going on for a while, and sadly I haven't exactly been consistent with the videos due to some issues going on with my personal life, both some health issues and some financial problems, and having to work a lot to make up for those financial issues I've been having. So this will be the last episode in the series. I did want to have one more video though, because we haven't really finished up this biomorphosis situation. We're really close to getting it done, so I'd like to complete that and then at least start working. Obviously we're not going to be able to finish it, but at least start working on that tradition tree, maybe get 1 or 2 of those completed. We also have the mid-game crisis, the void worm plague that just started, so I wanted to be able to take a look at this as well. So that's why we're going to have this one last episode in the series before that expansion releases. So I asked you guys in the previous episode which of these 3 approaches we should go with, and everybody that commented agreed that search for a cure would be the best one. So we're gonna go ahead and go with that. It's gonna increase our monthly unity. That'll help us with those traditions, the goal of trying to be able to actually work on that in today's episode, but it will reduce the monthly society research, but that's okay. All right, so let's go and let this play. Move up to the fastest speed. And if you guys remember, we're working on expanding our empire. So let's go ahead and scan this system. I know we have another scientist who's closer, but let's have Grey Plume instead work on this archaeological dig site once we get the system claimed. I don't know if there's anything else we need our scientists to work on. We grabbed all this extra territory here. I got another event regarding the biomorphosis, the biomorphosis situation. Surveillance has confirmed the existence of a population of genetically altered individuals inhabiting urban sewer systems, an unsettling echo of long-dismissed urban legends. This discovery has heightened social tensions, with visibly mutated citizens reporting increased discrimination as fears of the unknown escalate. Nevertheless, these individuals have demonstrated remarkable ingenuity, harnessing sewer gases for resource production and adapting their environment in unexpected ways. So we can clean out the sewers, reducing crime and monthly unity, or we could say these mutants may be onto something, and this will give us a new research option, the exotic gas extraction, and we'll be 25% towards finishing that. I mean, this seems really useful, honestly. Getting the reduced crime and the increased unity, I think that's probably the better option. We'll go with that. We have crime problems on one of our planets, which I believe that was a modifier that will affect our entire empire. So we have a crime problem on some of our newly conquered planets, and then obviously we're trying to get that unity. Alright, so we have been attacked here again from the wormhole. They're at 5.6 thousand strength, so not too much of an issue. We'll see if they destroy any of our platforms here. Yeah, we're able to easily wipe that out, and we have never even upgraded this either, just haven't needed to. Now let's take a look. We did not lose any of those platforms, excellent. And then we also have finished researching this survey with Grey Plume. So we're going to have Grey Plume move over to here. We cannot actually start doing that dig site until we claim it. We have a construction ship nearby. I think he's getting this one claimed. And then we'll be able to do this one. So we've seen this event before, winged statues. In fact, I want to say we saw this one in the last Stellaris series that we did, which I think was the orc one. So I suppose we'll do it. We have the option to not do it. Probably won't read through these though, since again we already looked at that in a previous series. Not that we'll have time to do the dig site anyways. It's right over here. We did upgrade one of our star bases, and we've also claimed this location here, and what I think we're going to do is wait so that we can start working on this one. Go ahead and build the outpost here so that Grey Plume can start doing the archaeological dig site as soon as he arrives. And then we have a construction ship over here that can go ahead and build the stuff there. And Golden Wing is both on the council and is a governor. She's governing on the nest. So just the one planet. These are all counselor traits. I feel like Mining Rush makes the most sense because Golden Wing loves gold, right? Yeah, let's go with that option. Sure. Though we're actually doing really good with our economy right now. Absolutely fantastic. First time we haven't really had too many issues. I mean, consumer goods, we're losing a little bit there, but it's a very small amount. So this is the best we have done in quite a while. Had a lot of economic troubles recently, and I think this expansion of our empire has really ended that and greatly increased our overall power. Such a shame that when this policy passes here in the Senate that we're going to take such a hit. Currently we're at 3.3 thousand, so we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ranked number 6. But remember, when this passes, that's going to hit us kind of hard because we get a lot of diplomatic weight from our economy. I got a vent here about radio signals. I think this pertains to that planet. Yeah, this one right here with the pre-FTL civilizations, I assume. I didn't really read through it, but that's usually what that one is. Or one of our planets, perhaps one of the pre-FTL civilizations moving a bit further. Alright, so we now have claimed this location. So that will allow us to excavate the dig site. And then let's go ahead and start building the mining stations here. Yeah, a lot of resources we're going to get from these three. But after that, you're not really getting as much. We're going to claim them anyways. Get some energy there, but not super impressive. Most of these systems here. So they're going through a period of industrialization and could find themselves soon at war. Could help them avert catastrophe, or we'll just let them learn themselves. I guess everybody kind of has to learn themselves, right? So that resolution was passed, as we knew that it was going to. Most people, unfortunately, voted for it. And so that's going to hit us. We're down to 3.1 thousand. Now it hits everybody, but it hit us a little harder just because we relied so much on our economic strength. The next one is the security contractors. At least that's what's currently slated. We could also do this one here to focus on the Void Worm Plague, so we could support that. Or we could form the Galactic Council. I'd really like to do that, but I don't know if we'd be on the Galactic Council because we're not as strong as we often are. So you know what, let's do the Void Worm Plague one. And if we supported both of those, then obviously this would be at the top anyways. But yeah, let's do that one, guys. I think that makes sense to prioritize to try and defeat the plague. So we have finally completed the biomorphosis situation. Whether we strive for the purest forms of ourselves, clone our way to success, or genetically augment ourselves through deliberate mutation, this moment marks a point of no return. So you can see we cannot take the second option since we never did the cloning approach in any of the stages. We can either do the purity one, we will know what it means to be pure, or we will harness mutational powers. This is the mutation path. So just taking a look at what you get from both of these. So this gives you the adaptive mutations. Basically all your pops will get the auto modding traits, automatically adjust to better suit the job that a pop is currently working. It's kind of an interesting situation where your pops are basically genetically modifying themselves to fit whatever job they do, and thus they'll be more efficient at those jobs. Somewhat fits our species. We also, if I'm not mistaken, I think we took the mutation route twice and the purity one once. Now maybe I got that mixed up. But this one here also has some pretty good bonuses. 20% leader lifespan. We do kind of focus on our leaders, so having them live longer would be nice. But the big bonus here is the allowance of the adoption of purity authorities. So I think only one of these is available to us based on our government. Just showing you guys all of them. So I really feel like we're going to go with this one, guys. I don't know. Maybe this one makes more sense. The idea of all our people just mutating themselves all the time, though. I don't know. I think we're going to go with this one. It doesn't mean that the approaches we took while doing the situation were irrelevant. I think I mentioned this while we were doing them. It does affect the actual traditions that are available within the tree. So if I understand this correctly, I believe these two are determined by which tree you went with. So both of these are for going with the purity tree. And also the adoption effect and the finisher effect is based on the tree that you select. So we would have gotten different ones if we'd went with the genetic tree. But then these three down here are based off of which approaches you went with. So this is available, environmental integration, because we did the mutation approach, which I think this would be the first one you went with. And then this one's the second one. We went with the purity approach, so we get the heightened attributes. And then this is from the last one, where we also went with mutation. I think these were the ones that we were being told, when we were selecting those, that this is what we'd get. So that's the way it works. So I wanted to at least be able to see this, so you guys can see how it works. And that's what we'll be investing in once we get our next tradition here in 7 months. So yeah, we completed the situation. I really wanted to do that before we ended the series, since it's a big part of the Biogenesis expansion. So this is the next event for that pre-FTL civilization. They're having a civil war because we decided to not get involved, and I was wondering which one it was. It's this one here. So one that's been within our empire for a long time. And so their pops are going to die. They're going to be unhappy. And there might be some additional events that will happen here. And we get new insights from it. We'll be completing this situation here in just 2 months as well. The rift in space. So friction is the problem. We've discovered that slipping through the folds in space and time requires a perfectly smooth vessel. We are certain that we can develop such a device that we are tentatively calling a rift sphere. Should we devote enough research and time, we may then finally discover what is beyond this spatial anomaly. We've completed our engineering research. That's starbase building cost and module cost is going to be reduced. And next we're going to we'll get the next missiles, I suppose. They'll take 31 months to complete. And Grey Plume has also leveled up. She is now level 7. So it seems like we only have 3 options available. They're all the next stage of the expertise, level 2, so Voidcraft particles and New Worlds. So increasing our research speed for those. Yeah, I suppose we'll go with Voidcraft. And we're about to get the next tradition for less than a month away. And so that allows us to start investing in purity. Yeah, we now have enough. Remember, we were working on prosperity, but we'll have to take a break from that. Even though there's some really good bonuses here, I want to start working on this one since we worked so hard to get this tree available. I think these bonuses here would be available regardless of what route we chose. I don't know if the actual tradition would be any different, but yeah, usually if you go down this tree, these are all available. So this is the ability to remove positive species traits and to add negative ones. This just allows you to further customize species. So pretty useful. We could get that. We could also go with this one. I suppose it makes more sense to go with this one, since I'm not going to modify any of our species in today's episode, because I'd like to try and make as much progress with the Voidworm Plague as we can before we unfortunately have to end the episode and the series. And we did choose to get this bonus, so that's going to increase our habitability and reach 175%, granting better bonuses. So yeah, let's go for that one. I think that would be useful. That was available because we went with the mutation approach for the first stage. So that archaeological dig site is already completed. It was a fast one. But we got a jade dining set. We also got a new research option, improved destroyer holes, as well as some type of ancient artillery. Okay, so a couple tasks that we got from it. I guess we'll take a look at this specimen, see if it's worth putting in place. Well, it gives you 300 amenities. You know what, we might actually do that, because we have one here. It gives 700, but it's 21.6 for the upkeep. Well, this one's only 7.2. So I think it's probably worth it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this one, so we don't have to pay as much upkeep, and to get a bit more amenities that would be helpful on some of our planets which lack them. Another one I think we're going to do is this one, the shield hit points in friendly systems, plus 30%. I think that's worth the high upkeep cost. So I send our fleet to destroy that asteroid. It does mean that we lost Gold Volt, since they were eaten. Our fleet was sent over here to deal with that, but I don't think I arrived in time. But I think they should be able to still attack it. Yeah, they're not going over there on their own, so we'll have to send them. So I thought I had destroyed it, but yeah, we just didn't get there in time, because there was a time limit on it. And I sent the fleet a while ago. It was just, it's a long distance, guys.
Action underway.
So I don't know if we had gotten here in time, if we could have saved the scientist. There's something we can scan there now. Alright, so let's go ahead and send the fleet. Well, we're going to need to upgrade them, so we'll send them over here again. Yeah, the problem is that we don't have the hyper lanes going all the way through here, so it just takes a really long time to move. So it appears we have another mid-game crisis. The drums of war, the Great Khan, has arisen. But luckily, it is not the ones that neighbor us. They're way over here. They're pretty far away. Particularly when you consider that our space does not connect there. So I think the closest connection point was really through these guys here, and they're fallen empire, so not too concerned about them going through that way. Yeah, they'd have to go through the other one, the freeholders. So not really concerned about them, but certainly an issue for all those empires neighboring them. So I'm building up our fleet a bit, making them a bit stronger. Not that they need to be, just because we can. You know, they drastically increased the command limit in one of the recent patches. These guys want us to join the Federation. Yeah, we're going to decline that. Not giving up our autonomy for anybody. We have finished up the construction here, getting all the energy. It's not really a reason to claim this system just to get this one for the 2 physics. We'll go ahead and claim this one. It's a little bit better of a system, and also has that wormhole there. Yeah, I think we'll just leave those 2 alone. I don't think it's worth the cost, both in energy, you know, for the maintenance, and also, you know, it's going to be increasing our empire size. So yeah, we'll just leave those 2 as is. And I hate when you find systems that don't have anything in them. I guess it makes sense though. Not everything, not every system in the galaxy would have some resources that you could exploit. I finished up a research for the quantum probes, so our research stations are going to be more effective. I suppose we should probably get the subspace sensors next. Yeah, we're going to grab that. It's only going to take us, well, it's going to take a while, 65 months. Working on the railguns, so that's going to improve our ships. I got the, I got a few different things. We got the better missiles. We also got the better generators, which allowed me to put more shields on our ships. Remember, we had to favor armor a bit since our ships were using too much energy, but those new generators are going to be really helpful. So we're currently building the fleet up, got some more ships there, and now we're upgrading the whole fleet. And once that's done, we'll be ready to move over here and do this war, which should be a very easy war against the Tajel nation. They're quite weak. We did reach the, I think this is the first. Yeah, this is the end of the first stage here, so we'll be entering into stage 2. So this is the void worm glands. We have discovered a pattern in the reproduction cycle of the void worms that could lead to a huge breakthrough in synthesizing a cure to the void worm plague. To confirm this hypothesis, the reproduction glands of a wild void worm troika must be harvested for analysis. Crucially, this troika must be killed while bombarding a planet in order to preserve the active reproductive gametes. So we say we have no time for this, or you will have your glands. Yeah, I guess so, but that means we'd have to let them attack one of our planets. We haven't even seen any of them. It hasn't really been an actual threat for us. I have a few notifications up here, so our construction is done over here. So we'll go ahead and build the mining station and the research station, and then we'll be done in this area. Currently working on the relay network again. So we got one construction ship working on this system, And we'll probably expand it at least over to here. I don't know if we'll go all the way down here. I don't know if it's really worth the time investment, but we will put it through these 3 systems here. That's the first contact we got going. Oh, okay. So it's interesting that we have met them, since I was going to talk about that next DLC that's coming out this week. So it's called Shadow of the Shrouds. So I mentioned this in the first episode, you know, they have the 3 different ascension paths, and thus far they've had, you know, DLCs for 2 of those. So the first one, I don't remember the name of the DLC, but it was for the cybernetic path. And then of course Biogenesis, the expansion we're playing in this series, is for the biological path. And so they only have the 1 path remaining, and that's for the Xionic path. So that DLC, Shadow of the Shroud, is going to wrap up their DLC for the 3 ascension paths. Now I will not be covering that on the channel. I actually have some other videos planned for this week, so hopefully I should be able to get those done. But yeah, we'll not be covering the upcoming Stellaris DLC. We did unlock another tradition. So again, we'll focus on the ones that we got through our choices. So we have heightened attributes. This is the one we got for the purity approach. This will increase job efficiency for organic hops and those 2 building types. But also reduce the empire size from hops. That'll be pretty helpful, because we're getting most of our empire size from our 50.8 thousand hops. Or we could go with this option here, and this gains access to these different species modification traits, which we're not going to be able to add in the series, unfortunately. So let's just go with this one as a nice passive bonus that's going to help us out immediately. Since our empire size is so high, it's increasing our technology costs and our tradition adoption costs. Now, one thing I didn't think about is with the Void Worm Plague focus being enacted, this opens all the borders between everybody within the galactic community, mobilizing them for war against the threat. I don't know if we'll be able to do any other wars. I don't recall if when you're done that, if you can attack each other or not. You would think you'd be able to, but again, you have those open borders. That doesn't necessarily stop you from attacking. It's not a non-aggression pact, so I guess we'll see. But it would make sense to not start the war until after this is done, because if that was the case, it would also end the wars. And that's what makes me think that that's not what happens. Oh, everybody's wanting to leave it, probably because they see the Great Khan as the greater threat now. So some of them are abstaining now. Still going to pass, though. Yeah, the Great Khan is likely expanding his empire. And so they're probably seeing them as the greater threats. We got the railguns. I'm not going to put those onto our ships since we just got done upgrading them, or almost done upgrading. So we'll have to add those at a different point in time. I guess we'll just get a nice passive bonus here. Increase the destroyer hull points. Alright, so again, we'll wait till this is over. We finished researching that already. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess it was only 1,400, and we had already completed some of the research, so yeah. It didn't take very long to get that. There's a few good things here. Habitats, star fortresses. We'll just get the bonus for the miners right now. I think that's good. Won't be able to complete the situation, obviously, in today's episode. It's unfortunate. The fleet is fully upgraded, so now we're just waiting for this to finish up. Alright, so this resolution has passed. And since the next one is to form the Galactic Council, yeah, we'll support that. Maybe we'll be a bit stronger once we have them as a subject. Because, yeah, I do think we should be able to declare war. Let's see here. This is the Allegiance War. Yeah, it's not stopping us. I didn't think it did. Now, our fleet is not actually yet in the area. I'm moving them over there, but it's going to take them a little while. You know, they'll be able to get up to this point on the hyperlanes fairly quickly, but we're still building the hyperlane here. So that's not yet completed, nor do we have the one here that we'll eventually get.
Inbound message traffic.
Non-aggression pact offer. Who's this? Clearly somebody who's happy about... Well, I was going to say somebody's happy about our attack. Maybe this is just because we have open borders now. They want non-aggression pact. We're going to climb that. They're really far away. Not at all concerned about them. Yeah, I'm guessing it's just because we got the open borders now. And we actually have some void worms here now. Okay, that's interesting. Just talking about them. And their fleet strength is 37,000 right at the start of this war. Wow. Okay.
Science division.
Well, that's interesting. Because we could not defeat that fleet with our own. Yeah, we were too weak. Alright, so that's kind of a shame because I wanted to do this war. Maybe if they... Yeah, looks like they're going to get destroyed by the fleet. I don't know, because they'll just come in here and destroy this real quick and then they'll move on. The question is, where are they going to move to? Kind of really threw us for a loop here, unfortunately. And I suppose we're just going to get this one, the Galactic Bureaucracy. So yeah, they'll quickly wipe that out.
Station reports enemy contact.
With no issues. And then we'll just have to see where they go next. It seems like they're going further into our space. Okay, so that's unfortunate. So we'll come over here. And yeah, we would not be able to defeat that fleet. I mean, maybe. Probably not. The 37,000. I suppose what we'll do is we'll engage against them. And if we lose, then that would just be the end of the series. Terrible way to go out, though. I'd wanted to go out on this war here. But, you know, it is what it is. I could build the fleet up further, I suppose, make them even more powerful. I mean, I guess we could do that. It would take time, though. Yeah, I guess we could work on that. Because we have a lot of space on our command limit. So if we built this up a bit larger, I mean, Corvettes aren't going to be that helpful, but yeah, I built this up like a lot larger. I mean, it'd take a long time to get them built, though. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of alloys, but we're able to do it. In fact, we need to sell some minerals here. We have a lot of minerals. I just sold some, actually. And get some more alloys. I don't even know if we'll need these, but go ahead and do that. And I don't really care about this right now. Yeah, I guess we'll do this so that the stability is not an issue for as long.
Mining station lost to enemy action.
So yeah, they're just easily wiping out everything there. And I guess we're going to want to go... I mean, this is not exactly the strongest location here. But I suppose we'll go over here. And what do they even have here? Okay, just anchorages. So we could go and get some platforms to kind of strengthen it up. Maybe something like that. I don't even know how many of those will actually get constructed before they arrive. You know, they're taking their time and they gotta go through several systems. And we don't even know for sure that they'd come over this way. Because there's a planet over here. I assume that's where they would go. We'll go ahead and make sure we make use of that. Yeah, I would assume they'd come up over here towards the planet. That's what makes the most sense. Yeah, they're just wrecking all our crap now, and that allows these guys to conquer our systems, and there's nothing we can do about it. But if they go over here towards the planets, then we can just skip past them for now and deal with it in the future. Or, I mean, obviously we wouldn't deal with it in this series, but yeah, just bypass it. Because I don't really know if we'd win. It looks like they're going to go this way, surprisingly. There's no planets over there. Well, I mean, I guess there's some planets. They go after the Numerian civilization here. Okay, it seems that's the way they're going. So that means we can engage in this war. Alright, excellent. I wasn't sure if this was going to mess it all up. So we can now get rid of this construction ship. Actually, you know what? Well, we have one here. Okay, it's fine. We'll get rid of this guy. And we'll just use this construction ship to build this stuff back up. And we'll just have to see where the void worms go. Yeah, they're going over this way and they're just going to wreck all our stuff. We'll just have to go behind them, fixing it all. So it looks like the void worms went into the wormhole. Okay, well that's interesting. So let's go... They didn't destroy anything there. So repair these here, and then we'll come up here and repair these once we've retaken those systems. And I was saying we wouldn't be able to deal with them, but this fleet is already getting stronger at 28,000. So we'll take this back over.
Engaging enemy station.
And I have more ships joining. Alright, so we're moving over to the next system here. And we should be able to easily wipe them out. They're already at 9,900. I don't know what they took casualties from. Just our star bases, I suppose. None of them were even all that strong. Might indicate just how weak these guys are. Not entirely sure why they fled over to here. Oh, they're taking the system over. I see. I thought they'd already taken that over.
Spaceport lost to enemy action.
Okay, so now we're gonna have the big battle, or at least as big as the battle against these guys is going to be, since this is their only fleet. Alright, so we should be arriving here, so we're going to turn it down so that we can watch this at the normal speed. Big beautiful light show. So we might lose a few ships. We'll just replace those, but I don't know. We're so much stronger than them at this point. We're at 30,000 fleet strength. Let's take a look. We didn't lose any of our ships, and we wiped out a good chunk of them. Not all of them. Half their destroyers, about half their corvettes, and yeah, half their frigates. So I don't even have any bigger ships. Wow, that just shows you how much superior our fleet is compared to theirs. Alright, so let's go ahead and go into their capital system, I suppose. We'll go after that first, though we do need to take over that planet, and so that means we need to move this fleet. So we'll get them moving now. Actually, let's just move them here, since I don't know where their fleet's going to pop up. I assume it'll be in their capital system. And we are now able to have a vote for the next Valkyra, and I kind of just want to go with Red Feather, our current Valkyra. So we'll invest the unity in that. So at least we will be able to complete this war. Let's turn this back up to the fastest speed. Not that it's all that fast. Again, Stellaris is gotten slow. Oh, this is interesting. Enemy lost. Huh. So that's their system, the ones who have been invading us. And it seems that they've been destroyed. Their fleet of biological ships and their hatchery have been destroyed by an unknown force. Even as we rejoice in knowing that the filthy invaders have met their end, we cannot ignore the risk that another power may one day seize control of their system. We must move quickly to secure this strategic location before we face yet another siege. Alright, so this is over. Well, we're just doing all kinds of things. Getting all kinds of situations finished up here in our finale episode. So this is going to increase our happiness and our pop growth for 5 years. Alright, pretty helpful. I mean, it's kind of anticlimactic that we weren't the ones to destroy them. Now, what's interesting here is that they have lost control of some of their systems. I'm not entirely sure why. I assume it's all part of this war, you know, that they joined us in. But kind of strange. But I guess we'll take advantage of it. We have a shipyard here, so let's... Can we... Well, we can't build there, because we need a scientist to go over there. I was going to use this scientist here. But yeah, we'll just start surveying the system now. And then we'll move a construction ship. I suppose we can get that moving over there. So that we at least have him in place.
Spaceport reports enemy contact.
Oh. So much for not being under threat here anymore. They have a much larger fleet, and these are not biological ships, which is what our starbase here is built to defend against. That's interesting. So we have like no chance to win. They'll definitely destroy this.
Lost to enemy action.
So we did need to build it up. Well, that's interesting. So they're going to take that out, and then from there they'll be able to take over our home system. It's even more powerful than our fleet, although they took some casualties. So maybe our fleet could destroy them. Yeah, a lot of crazy, interesting things happening here. We did wipe them out over here. And so now let's go over to this location. Oh, it's the Great Khan. Well, that's interesting. I didn't expect them to come through a wormhole. So they're the ones who destroyed our enemies. The Great Khan. I thought this wasn't gonna affect us. How wrong I was. Alright, so yeah, they'll be able to easily take this over. Nyx is gonna die. Won't be able to get Nyx out of there, so unfortunately we'll lose Nyx. But we'll do some more casualties to them. Nyx wasn't doing anything anyways. I'm just keeping her here. We did get another council agenda completed. This is the biomorphosis one, the one that we unlocked. And that gives us those bonuses. I think we looked at those. I think we should probably get the impenetrable border since we're under invasion right now. I don't know how much that's going to help because I haven't really built like strong star bases around here. They're only up on our borders. So the Great Khan's going to be able to just tear us apart while we're trying to finish up this war here. We did lose our Grand Archive as well, so that's a huge hit to us. We had a bunch of nice bonuses there. So I guess it is a very climatic ending here. I thought it was going to be anticlimactic, but it's not the case. We're losing our home system. Seems that Nyx did escape, by the way. So I remember when the Great Khan takes something over, he just destroys it. So this is like not ours anymore. Despite the fact that we still have our capital here, so we need to reclaim it. And I think the Great Khan's just going to leave. So a little bit of rebuild there, but we want to give some time before we do that. But yeah, quite a disaster here, guys. With this attack from the Great Khan. Yeah, they did hop back into the wormhole. So we'll need to claim that system again. We already have a construction ship over here, so I guess we'll do that with this. Might have been a few places that were closer, but... Oh, did it just get rebuilt? Yeah, it did. Because we have the Carnethi there. Alright, so we don't actually need to do that. But what we do need to do, we'll have to rebuild our defenses here. Because we got wrecked. And we'll want to rebuild this too. So get that started, and then we'll want to get like a bunch of defense platforms. That's all we're able to get. We'll just do these ones for now. So it's a shame we spent all those alloys building up our fleet. Let's go to get these mining stations going. And then these guys are going to do the invasion here. Hopefully they're strong enough. I didn't actually take a look at their strength. Their garrison strength is 2380. So yeah, we will not be able to invade there without first bombarding them significantly. Okay, well that's fine. We'll take over this location, which we've already done. So this is completely in our control. So now let's go back over here and start bombarding. I was going to send the fleet. I was going to reinforce them as well. I was going to send the fleet to attempt to engage, despite the fact that they're a bit weaker, against the Great Khan. But obviously that's not necessary. So I did send that construction ship over here because we do need to rebuild all this stuff. And I suppose there's a lot of things we need to build, like the Grand Archive. So got to redo that. And then I got another one being constructed so that they can go ahead and claim this system here as we continue to scan this area. So yeah, we'd have to bombard this planet probably for a long time. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else here. We'd have to bombard for quite a while in order to get the garrison weak enough for our army to actually be able to invade. They're just not strong enough. Could of course increase their strength, but you'd have to build a lot, and even then, I don't think it'd be good enough. This is for Gold Mother, the governor of Carnethi. We're gonna get this one, efficient staffing. So unfortunately, they actually ended the war, just giving us that system because we had a claim on that. And we did not turn these guys into a vassal, even though that was kind of the point of the war. So kind of strange. Well, that's the way it went down. Now they are free. And of course they also lost all this territory, which I'm not entirely sure why that happened. So I guess it benefits us. And we could conquer them later. Yeah, kind of weird, honestly. Let's send these guys back to our home system. And also we finished a bunch of construction over here. So a lot of things happened in today's episode. Very interesting. Let's get that observation post constructed. So basically what we would do after we finish getting all this constructed, in fact it'd probably make a lot of sense, though it would be easier if I could do it here by just getting ourselves a shipyard. I suppose we get a hangar bay as well, since we can. And then the crew quarters here. That's just at the capital. Yeah, it would make sense to build it here, but since we don't want to wait for that, we're gonna get another construction ship over here. I mean, again, it doesn't really matter because we're about to end the episode in the series here, but what I would do, have the two construction ships working here at the same time, so you can get all of this built out. You can also rebuild the Grand Archive, and then more importantly, we'd want to build out the Deep Space Citadel. Like a level 2 or level 3 one, honestly. You could raise up the resources necessary to stop anybody else from entering our capital through this damn wormhole. But yeah, it's interesting that they got destroyed. Our old enemies with their biological ships, they were completely wiped out. So it came to an interesting conclusion. Let's go and build our starbase over here. Yeah, unfortunately, this war didn't go quite as we'd like. Could have also colonized this location here. It's a savannah world. So those are all the things we would do if we were continuing the series, but again, we're not going to because of how long it's been going on, and also mainly because that DLC is releasing here on Monday, I believe. But yeah, we would rebuild our defenses even stronger this time so that nobody could do what just happened to us. You think we would have learned our lesson after being attacked by the other civilization, but we grew complacent because we were so powerful here and they couldn't break through, and so I felt well defended and didn't get the next levels, and thus a Great Khan was able to invade us and destroy everything. So I'm wondering what's going on out there, man. I think the Great Khan's just wiping everybody out. But our fleet is significantly more powerful at 37,000. In fact, we have gone over our naval capacity by a little bit, so it's costing a little bit more energy, but we actually have a lot of energy. We're doing very good when it comes to pretty much all the resources. Consumer goods, we're losing a little bit there. I would like to have alloys being produced a little bit quicker, considering how badly we need them, but you know, we can always just sell energy and minerals as well as food that doesn't have a very good value to just get the consumer goods and the alloys that we need. So I'm glad we were able to see that happen. It was interesting. You know, we saw the end of our old enemy with their biological ships, and of course we saw the Great Khan doing his invasions and how powerful they can be. It's a shame we weren't able to engage them with our main fleet. I did start sending them towards the capital, but obviously it's going to take a while to get there, and we don't even know if he would invade us again. But I wanted to show the Biogenesis situation, and we did complete that, and also got to take a look at the tradition tree and how that works with the DLC, and even got to see the beginning of the Void Worm Plague, as we're about maybe a little under halfway through with that situation. Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't continue with it, but you know, there weren't a lot of people watching the series with how long it's been going. You know, initially did fairly well, but you know, we've been playing this for like months now because you know, I've just been having so much going on, so I haven't been very consistent with the release of the videos, so a lot of people dropped it. I mean, that happens naturally anyways, but that's especially true when a series goes on for this long. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode as well as the whole series, despite the inconsistencies. Sorry about that. I'm hoping that in the period from October to December, I should be able to release videos at a more consistent, quicker pace. Not quite at the pace that I was before, but faster than I have been over much of this year. So hopefully should see more videos over the next couple months, particularly in November, guys. I got some big plans in November. So if you did enjoy the episode and the series, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. If you're looking for anything to watch, check out the front page of our channel. Got a ton of videos, all sorted by genre. Should be able to find something that you'd enjoy. We do have a new series going right now with Endless Legend, just a short series. It's going to be 3 videos total. The first 2 are already out. Maybe go check that out. Early access game that's going to be releasing, I think on the same day as the Stellaris DLC here on Monday. If you're looking for any links, check out the description of any of our videos. We found links to our PayPal, Patreon, and Teespring store if you'd like to help support the channel. You also found a link to all of our social media and our Discord if you'd like to follow us on those. So I do hope to see you guys on another episode, another video, another series, and thanks for watching.